Walter, this happened about a week ago, and it's really been bothering me. I never heard of this woman before, but I have a serious problem with what's been done to her by the media. Here were the headlines a few days back. Daily Mail. CNN star who was forced to resign after using the N-word dies at 62. The Mirror, U.S. CNN host Valerie Hoff DiCarlo dies at 62 after quitting industry over racial slur drama. The U.S. Sun. Ex-CNN anchor dies at 62 after vile racist slur destroyed career. Daily Star. Ex-CNN news anchor who resigned after making sick racial slur dies age 62. Okay, sounds bad. I'm like, what the hell did she do? Did she say the N-word on the air? What happened with this woman? You're not going to believe this story. Okay, she had a long career. From 1999 to 2017, she worked at 11 Alive, which is a local news organization. Prior to that, for a few years, she worked at CNN Headline News back in the early to mid 1990s. Here's a quick clip of her. Again, her name is Valerie. Just want to make sure. Sorry, Valerie Hoff DiCarlo. Watch.
A Parisian cultural treasure is in trouble. And a modern-era cowboy who's drawing praise for his literary aim. Those stories and more with Bob Lozier after a short break. I'm Valerie Hoff. A whole day's news every half hour. This is Headline News.
She was based in Atlanta, where CNN was based, and then went on to, again, local news there in Atlanta, 11 Alive. And she died. She died last week of lung cancer at the age of 62. And that was the headline that virtually everyone went with to memorialize this poor woman. This woman who'd been a news anchor for over 20 years, serving her local community, reporting, as her LinkedIn said, on things like, she said, anchoring live coverage on CNN during the Gulf War, reporting from New York City during the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center, consumer investigation stories that have revealed, she wrote, expired groceries in local supermarkets and jewelry billed as all natural that was actually synthetic and worth a fraction of the selling price. Those are the kinds of stories that she reported on for her audience over the many years.
Yep.
So what was this moment that led to her termination from 11 Alive and led to the headlines being all about this one thing? What was this cardinal sin? Well, I went back and looked it up. By the way, she was an Emmy Award-winning reporter and anchor. It was April of 2017. She was with 11 Alive News. There was a story in the news about a man. A man had posted a video capturing police brutality in Gwinnett County, Georgia. It involved a police officer, I believe, and punching a black motorist. So he posted the video of it, and she, along with many other news reporters, were trying to get permission to use it. To the contrary of ignoring cop on black violence, she wanted to put it on the air and report on it, but she needed permission to use the video. So the guy who captured the moment is named Curtis Rivers, and he is a black man. He posted the video showing the violence, and after the clip went viral, many news reporters reached out to him to try to get the rights to use the video. He later wrote on X, I guess annoyed at all the attention, quote, "I just posted a video to get some justice. Now I got news N words, ending in AS, all up my DMs telling me to call them." So he's annoyed. So he's calling the news people who are contacting him news N words.
Right.
After that tweet, Hoff DiCarlo privately messaged him seeking permission to use the video. She wrote, "Please call this news N blank 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 A. LOL, I'm with 11 Alive." That's it. That's what she did. She wasn't using that term. She was repeating his use of that term to describe news people like her in an annoying way. She was being self-deprecating, saying, yeah, sorry, I'm one of these annoying people who's been bothering you, trying to chum it up with him.
He's trying to get on his wavelength.
Being self-deprecating. Yes, exactly. And he initially had a nice exchange with her where he responded saying, and I have the tweet exchange in front of me, LMFAO. And then he says, I got it from a group chat. I don't know where or who filmed it. And then he says, I just looked through your photos on Twitter and realized you aren't black, but called me an N-word. Because her tweet reads, please call this news N-word. LOL, I'm with 11 Alive. Where did you get the video?
Right.
That's what she, and so if you look at that, it could be, please call this news, like common, comma, and then the N-word. It's obviously not that because he had used that term himself. In any event,
she's saying, call me.
She responds, that's right. And she responds saying, no. I called myself one. I'm a news lady at 11 Alive. I thought you were referring to all of us. So sorry if you didn't understand. I called myself one, she's saying. And she says, this man deserves justice. Then she says, again, I'm very sorry I offended you. I was not offended by what you called the media, but I should not have used it back, even in a direct message. And then she says, by the way, the second officer just got fired. And he says, how would I be able to contact your manager or lawyer? And he took the story public, which is how she was publicly disgraced.
Right.
She got fired.
Mm-hmm.
They fired her for this. They offered her the chance to either resign or be fired. She said it was not voluntary. And they wouldn't even allow her back into the building to pick up her belongings. They suspended her email so she couldn't retrieve contacts of anybody. She couldn't get a resume taped together. She told the Journal-Constitution at the time, I was quoting something the gentleman said in a public tweet back to him in a private message.
Yep.
But that doesn't make it any less offensive. It was incredibly stupid and reckless. I was in the middle of a pressure-filled day trying to chase down the video of a man being beaten and kicked by 2 Gwinnett police officers, which this particular gentleman had posted on Twitter. I repeatedly apologized and continue to do so. The man who, kind of caused the trouble by bringing the tweet public wound up saying, just stop. I don't want her fired. Like, all's forgiven. Like, I didn't want it to be blown up into this big a deal. And that was 2017, all right, almost 9 years ago. Now this poor woman dies at age 62, very young by anybody's modern standard. And instead of the news media that might have a thought for their fellow journalists on like understanding what we do to one another in this business, how vicious we are, that you might not want to make one incident the sum total of this woman's life and her reporting career.
Wow.
Dances on her grave and uses that one innocent moment, not smart, but innocent moment to define this entire woman, wanting people to remember her as a racist who got fired for using the N-word. It's disgusting, and she deserved better.
So the story's untrue. She's not a racist. She should never have apologized and said she was having a hard day. I'm sorry. I feel bad that she's passed. I don't want to deprecate her further, but sadly her mistake was acting like these people weren't just out to lunch and they got everything wrong. Instead, she got pulled into some human resources struggle session culture where she had to pretend to be tired and so on and not just say, like the guy called me that word, okay? As a group.
Yeah.
And then now we have this new phenomena where every single one of the obituaries has the same incident in it. Who made that decision? How does that decision get made the same way in every single newsroom, at every single editorial meeting? What? No one went back and looked? Apparently not. If anybody,
I know.
Why do we live in this world? It's almost like we are sitting still for something that we should have gotten up from the table and left a long time ago. If you're going to put that somebody's a racist in their obituary, then you need to explain very well why that's the most important thing about their life and why it has anything to do with their death. Frankly, the only reason they gave that woman an obituary was so that they could have that headline. A lot of people who once anchored at CNN's headline news don't get obituaries. This was an attempt to, as you say, prime and keep it going, keep the racism thing going by any hook or by crook. Use obituaries, use whatever you have to do. And we can't allow ourselves to be bathed in this toxin and have it be called our culture. And the people who do it need to be looked at as almost like burglars or criminals from out of town. Like, get out of our town. We're not racist. We're not going to be constantly called things that we aren't. And worse, we're not going to have our standard of living and our entire culture sink below the waves while we have arguments about who said what.
She dies of lung cancer at 62. And even that brings out nothing from them. Nothing.
She was trying to be nice
for her
when
husband.
she was called a racist.
Yeah. Honestly, it's obviously what she was trying to do. She's using his term. It's not like she pulled it out of the ether. He had said it publicly in a tweet. She's trying to bond with him like, I know I'm one of those annoying people you just referenced with this exact term. And then he threw a fit because he realized she wasn't black and she used his term. It's just so crazy. And I don't know, Walter. Like, I remember Roger Ailes used to say, like, I'm going to be savaged in my obituary no matter what happens with me. And, you know, my relationship with Roger has been very well documented in many forms, but we had our ups and downs, to say the least. But I cared about Roger. I still care about him. And I never wanted his obit to be defined by his Me Too situation. He was so much more than that. And some got it right, and some chose not to. Many on the left, frankly, were more obsessed with his contributions to right-wing media as his biggest sin. Like, they couldn't get past that. But you would just think, when writing on somebody in the business, maybe there'd just be like something in the back of your brain that says, like, would I want this done to me? And the truth is, as we've learned so many times, and as every media segment we did today proves, we just have to forge on without them. They're dishonest. They cannot be counted on to do the right thing. They do not follow the same ethical compass we do.
Ever read the label on a typical bag of chips? It's often a science experiment of seed oils, MSG, artificial dyes, and mystery ingredients. Masa is part of the growing movement to bring back real food. Masa chips contain just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. Not only do these chips avoid the bad stuff, they also taste delicious too. Snacking on Masa chips is nothing like eating regular chips. With Masa, you feel satisfied, light, and energetic with no crash and no bloat. And if you love Masa, then you will love Vandy Crisps. Vandy, which is Masa's sister company, makes the most delicious 3-ingredient potato chips too. Ready to give Masa or Vandy a try? Use code MK for 25% off your first order at masachips.com or vandycrisps.com, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. Don't feel like ordering online? Masa and Vandy are now available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. Stop by and pick a couple of bags up before they're all gone.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.